This week in All Star Fandom, we dive into Sonic the Hedgehog Fandom. I'm being joined by a very special guest who has a very interesting story and has his own sort of take on the fandom of Sonic the Hedgehog. So keep up, maybe grab a chili dog and then keep up with us. We might be going too fast for you, but Sonic the Hedgehog Fandom, let's talk about it. Welcome to All Star Fandom. This week we're diving into Sonic the Hedgehog Fandom, and I'm being joined by a very special guest. But before we jump into that, just make sure you subscribe, do all the social media stuff, like, share. We're on Instagram at All Star Fandom Show and over on YouTube where you're watching this now, hopefully, hitting the subscribe button at All Star Fandom. But today we're diving into Sonic the Hedgehog Fandom, and today I'm being joined by Chris. Chris is concept artist, innovator, Sonic fan, obviously, as you can see by everything surrounding him, and also a Sonic. He is Sonic the cosplayer. Chris, introduce yourself to the people, man.
I am Chris, just like you said. I am Sonic the cosplayer. I mostly go by Sonic the cosplayer. Few people have gotten it that I'm Chris, and almost nobody usually sees my face until recently. But so that's why this is like this and not like that. But
and I appreciate it too, because I have followed Chris for a while, and I didn't even really. I don't think I've ever seen his face really on his Instagram account. So I scrolled a little bit and I found nothing until I finally just asked him in the email. But what we're going to dive into real quick now, seeing how like I want to give Chris an opportunity to sort of tell everyone about the background. How did you become Sonic the cosplayer? And we'll sort of dive into that cosplay fandom as well. But just want to know, like, what was that story like?
All right, so I've almost gotten this to like a script level thing.
Okay, perfect.
So it's kind of nice. So it's so many crossovers. A lot of people, and I don't know if that's from the original cartoons where Sonic dressed up as all that things, kind of like that Bugs Bunny style, or if it was just the concepts of people that would create. It's mainly Dragon Ball Z, but like there was a lot of different. Sonic was wearing this outfit, was crossing over in this realm. I don't know why that came to be like this. It was the biggest fandom for that level of crossover, but nobody was doing it in real life. I had an idea to cross Mario or have Sonic dress up as Mario, because that was the first thing. Because I was like, all right, this has been the thing since the 90s, and I'm a 90s kid, so I'm just like, all right, so this has been like, it's been ingrained into my head is Sonic and Mario, so I was like, all right, so Sonic is going to dress as Mario. And before, I didn't have a name. I wasn't called Sonic the cosplayer. I was just, for the longest time, was called Sonic Mario. There wasn't anything to that. There wasn't any name. I didn't have a name with it. It was just Sonic Mario, and that was it. And, well, first I needed a suit, so I commissioned my mom. I really nicely asked my mom to literally build me a suit.
Okay, this was going to be my next question, was just how did you build that suit too?
So this suit is the new suit, but the other suit that's hanging up in the closet over there was built by my mom. It was the head, the gloves, and the shoes. Because I was like, I don't need a body suit, because the body suit I don't require, because I have an idea of creating is basically wearing, because like the Mario outfit is, I'm wearing the overalls with the red long sleeve. So I didn't need a full bodysuit because there was no point in that. So I was like, I just need a head, gloves, and shoes. And then I made Mario Sonic. But then a friend of mine who was also a cosplayer, she recommended by basically saying, "Hey, you need a page." Because she's like, yeah, you need a page, you need a name. It's like, what would you call yourself? And I was like, I don't know, Sonic. I was like, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, but I'm a cosplayer. So I was like a Sonic cosplayer. I was like Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic cosplaying, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the cosplayer. Yeah. And it was just that you could see it in the message. I screen capped the whole message. You could see it in the message of just the ... That's it.
With the one that's over your left shoulder, that's a full on, yeah, I know. That's a full on sort of suit from head to toe. It's not covering up it's by like a Mario Plumber suit or anything else. It's like full on Sonic, right? So
Correct.
it's it's very well done. It looks so great, and
Thank you.
I will say for people, again, I put videos up for it. The face moves too, and anybody that follows me knows I love animatronics or things that move. That exactly like that, mouth and everything. So how did you evolve from just being like, okay, I'm gonna put him in like a Mario suit or whatever other else sort of cosplay within cosplay, sort of like a meta very thing, into saying like, okay, let's just do a whole suit this time out.
The movie. Straight up, it was the movie.
Which we'll talk about. Which we'll talk about in the episode.
The movie spurred. So due to the length of time that I've been doing this, by the time the movie came out, I was doing this for 9 years, and I've developed 32 cosplays by that time frame. 32 crossovers between Sonic. So
yeah,
32 times cosplaying Sonic, cosplaying something else. And so because of that, I've amassed a following. I don't know. I guess that's a following.
Yeah.
And that includes a bunch of things, including people higher up. And one of those things was the writer for the Sonic movie.
Get out of here! Really?
And the merch people from Sega and everything like that. Because it was one of those things where they were also following me to just be like, "We're watching you," and I was like, "Okay, that's just." I get it. I'm not gonna do anything. There's no drunk Sonic. There's no anything like that.
Protect the brand, right?
100%. I was like, cool. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And during when the original movie Sonic came out,
which we'll talk about too,
that was a whole thing. And what's the word I'm looking for? So I had to know. I was like, all right, are we redoing it? And then when they found out that we were redoing it, and they were changing the whole thing, there was a leaked photo where I was like, hey, is this what he's supposed to look like?
Yeah.
So basically to your left. And it's just like, is this what he's supposed to look like now? And I remember messaging a couple people, and I was just like, is this what it is? And I ended up getting an anonymous thing being like, yes, it is. And then they gave me the actual picture of what it was eventually going to be released. And I was like, I have to build this.
Yeah.
Like, I have to build this. And that's all he did. Because eventually it was released, like, I don't know, like a month later. But it was one of those things where I got the confirmation that, yes, that leaked photo was real. And this is what the actual photo looks like. And it was like watermarked, so I couldn't share it if I wanted to. So I was like, I'm going to get yelled at. They're going to get yelled at.
Because they're watching, right? Because they're watching.
Exactly. So I was just like, well, it's also watermarked with like the person's name on it. So like if I shared it, everybody would have been like,
oh, yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. So I'm not going to, but I was like, but I got to build this. I have to build this. I wanted to make like a fursuit style thing because now he's technically in a fursuit because it's realistic. It's not a cartoon. And I was like, I have no idea how to do this. So I spent weeks watching YouTube, almost like a job. Like I had a job. And then I would come home and spend like another 6 hours watching YouTube videos, and tutorials, and everything, like how to foam, how to like I understood how to make like the props behind me and stuff like that because I understood EVA foam. Like the movie suit, I was like, I got to make this, and I got to figure out how all this stuff. And I was just like, I know how to make the foam, but I don't know how to make this. So I was like, all right, I gotta figure this out. And it's like, part of it was like, I got it. And then it came to like the furring, and it came to like part of the LEDs. And I was like, I'm just trying to do this all within a certain time period of getting it ready. And I still to this day upsets me because right when I finished the suit, we got hit with COVID and I couldn't do anything.
Because the movie did come out there,
And so we got hit with COVID, and there was like no conventions. I couldn't do anything with the suit, so I was just like, I guess I'll just make TikToks, I guess. And then I made TikToks, got popular on TikTok because I was making a bunch of TikToks on that one because I was like, this is the only thing I have to do. It's like I really want to do something with this suit, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm stuck at home.
But yeah, so with that suit and making it, before we get off or move on to another topic, and we'll come back a little bit too. Can you, to the viewers at home or watching this wherever, can you sort of explain the cosplay community um, to the audience? And just because I, like I said before, and before we started recording, it's something I wanted to do. But again, I saw your suit and I was like, maybe I need to rethink this or put some more thought into it. Maybe I should just think about it a little bit more. So can you explain like the cosplay community and that sort of side of that fandom, I suppose?
Well, the cosplay community. So a lot of times, a lot of people think the cosplay community is just building stuff. A lot of people, it's separate words. So it's costume play. It's more than just building stuff, because people could build fantastic things, but if there's no, okay, this is an opinion. This is just me. If it feels like there's no character to it, then I feel like you're just. It's great that you built the costume. You have amazing skills, but it's like when I wear this suit, I enter like I can't shut up in this suit. Like that's one of the reasons why I have the mouth moves. Like I'm like a Deadpool character. That's one of the reasons why the mouth moves is so I get to talk to people, and I'm just like I'm high-fiving people. I'm like trying to run around and stuff like that. Even though I'm 7'1" in the suit. So,
really?
Like with everything, because with the spikes and everything like that, because I'm 6'3", so when the suit goes up, so
yeah,
I do scare some people because like you got like a 7 foot Sonic running at you, going to high five you, and like and the eyebrows move, and I've had people run, but it's one of those things where it is a community of creative people just really trying to express themselves through craft, for lack of a better term, because even not necessarily craft, because the people that buy the costumes and then be like, I'm going to go cosplay
yeah, like
I don't know,
Batman or something. That's an easy one, right?
I'm going to cosplay Batman, but I bought my thing at I don't know, Amazon or something like that. I bought a Batman costume in Amazon, but you get to have fun in it. You can twirl your cape. You can sit in a corner and just like, in a dark corner and just like
brood
stare
all
or whatever
day,
like that, and brood all day and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yes. Either you build and you craft this amazing thing, and you get photos and you get videos and you go to the conventions, you get a bunch of people loving it and everything like that, or you go and buy like a $20 outfit, and then you just get to be Batman all like day at like a convention or whatever like that. Like nobody knows you're Chris the accountant because you're Batman. And that's amazing.
Yeah, because I've definitely thought about it, because here in Atlanta we have like Dragon Con and MomoCon and stuff like that, and you'll see people like coming from those conventions going into like a Target and seeing the expressions on some people's faces,
Like whenever they have like a children's area or a children's day at a convention center or whatever like that, I am high-fiving everything. Everything. I have it's called like a Disney line. We call them Disney lines, where it's like basically I stay put and I just stand there, because it's literally just next kid.
Yeah.
Next,
okay.
Kid. Next. And it's just, it's good. It's fun. It's I get to stay still. I get to relax in the suit. I get to pose every now and then, and it's just I get to high five everybody. And so
I think that's that joy too. Like the work
absolutely.
that you put into it, and then sort of going out into the world, and like kids seeing you or adults seeing you, anybody seeing you, like, oh, that's one of the best. Because this is a shout out to another channel, but I don't know if you follow like Disney Dan. He's a guy who just he looks at like the progression or timeline of like mascot suits. So like from like the very first Sonic suit to what we have now. I think he did an episode on that. And just to see that evolution of Sonic suits, Chris, I'm not lying, man. Yours could have easily been like at the tail end of that as one of like the best suits that like would have been made for Sonic. Because again, it's the headpiece moving for me. That's what I want to see. That's what I like to watch. I want to be able to interact with it. But But yeah, I will get into cosplay when I can sort of build something like that, and then think about it a little bit more of like, what am I doing with this suit, you know? But oh,
Well, the thing is, with
oh yeah,
certain Sonic cosplayers, if you literally just wear
the
one of these
quills,
rings,
yeah,
this
yeah,
this with like a ring, and just it's so much fun just to do that. Like one of the things that I was so looking forward to when Sega finally was able to like make these Kigus
yeah,
adult size. I was so happy because now I can actually finally have one of my conventions day just be a slum day, but I still get to be a Sonic fan. So I'm just like,
yeah.
I was like, man, I just get to wear this like pajamas all day, and I'm like, I don't have to wear a suit, but I'm just like, I still get to wear this, and I'm great.
Well, Chris, before we jump into our next segment, I just want you to let people know where they can find you too. We'll wrap it up on the back end of the video too, but just your socials and like your Etsy shop, all of that. Where can the people find you? I think it's Sonic the Cosplayer, right? Everywhere.
Pretty much. That's one of the things I got so much. People are like, oh, where can I, like at conventions, people are like, where can I find you? I was like, Sonic the Cosplayer. We're like, where? I'm like, everywhere. If it's a social media, including Etsy, if it's a social media, Etsy, whatever like that, just literally Sonic the Cosplayer. It's personally proud the fact that I was able to get that name across the social media, because it would it's a pain sometimes to find, because it's like oh I'm Sonic Cosplayer X2585922,
Yeah, it just doesn't roll off the tongue,
and I'm just like,
right?
I'm like, oh, I was like, you're never gonna find me on Instagram. So I was like, man, this is so much. It's nice. So yeah, if it's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's Etsy, it's what's the new one? Threads.
Yeah, I haven't dove into that one yet.
Yeah, it's Twitter, Instagram, but yeah, it's their whole, all of them. It's all Sonic the Cosplayer.
Well, perfect. So next segment, we're just going to go into a little bit more of the Sonic the Hedgehog talk for fandom talk. So, Chris, question straight out the gate: how did you become such a huge Sonic fan? Like, what was that moment that you were like, okay, this is my guy from here on out? What happened?
Christmas 1991.
Oh, that's a fateful day.
So, it is 100% a fateful day, because my parents were gonna buy a Nintendo, and it was sold out. And they were like, okay, cool. We're going to buy this other system because this other system comes with the game, because it also happened to come with
bundled together. Yeah.
So I believe my girl and I, we have a long-standing thing that there's a variant me where it's Mario the Cosplayer, because I went down that route. There wasn't a sold-out Nintendo. My parents got that instead, and I grasped a hold of Mario, and now I have Mario the Cosplayer, and it's just overalls with like a bunch of like Ghostbuster backpacks and stuff like that. And I was like, that's what it's going to end up being. But yeah, no, it was Christmas 1991, and I remember my sister got a dog, and I got this.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I've never played video games before. This honestly, what I was like 5. I was 5. So I didn't play anything up till then, because one, I probably didn't have the motor skills to do anything, because like at 5 years old, that's when you start getting like, the motor skills. Like if you'd hand me the controller at 2, I would have been like, yeet.
Yeah.
So, but like, so it was that, and then my mom, she will always hold this over my head, and it's crazy because I tell the story all the time. My mom beat the game before I did.
Oh, really?
Well, it helped that she was like 20.
She's
something.
older too,
so,
yeah.
So she had a lot higher motor skills. I had school. She was a stay-at-home mom at that point. So I was just like, you had time. You had time. I had to go to school. So, but, and she'd be like, no, I beat it before you. I was like, but I got all the emeralds.
Oh, okay.
That kind of went into that one. But, it was one of those things where I think it was everybody was Mario, and then
Very
Sonic
so.
came out, and I, right off the bat, always just wanted to be a little bit different. Hence,
Chris, you're preaching to the choir, man. This is the exact same story for me. So I'm just gonna let you keep going. This is the same story.
Yeah, I just wanted to be just a little bit different, and I was just like, I'm just gonna, and it was just like Sonic the, and because of that, 1991, 92, 93, 94, 95, during that time period, I mean, Sonic was as big as like Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson,
Yeah,
like
if you encapsulate
it's
that
like
90s, it's Sonic, Michael
yeah.
Jackson, Michael Jordan, and what else? Barney. That's about it.
Yeah, this was like it was. He was '90s when you think about it, because like Mario came out in the, or had games in the '90s, but he was '80s.
He was a
Like
90s.
he was late
Yeah.
'80s into the, and he grew into the '90s. But Sonic was built in the '90s.
He fit the 90s culture.
And he's solidified in that '90s from Sonic 1 all the way to Sonic Adventure, and it was like a decade of just this little blue hedgehog. And because I was born in 1986, so obviously I don't remember the '80s. But the '90s, I remember, and because of that decade, it was just solidified into my. I was like, "Yeah, this is who I am. This is
Chris, this
I'm
is
gonna stay in this fandom."
it's just the exact same. It's the exact same story. Like I had a PlayStation. I had friends and cousins who had Nintendos, and they were fine. But then I see this, blue hedgehog, whatever. Honestly, didn't know. Probably at that age, I'm a year younger. Since you said 87, I was born in 88. I mean 87. You were born in 86. But I just remember seeing that and it looking way cooler than Mario. So that's
straight up. I'm not even
gonna.
I love Mario games. Straight up.
It pulled me over, and from there on, from that game all the way, it's just been Sonic for me as well. It was just something about the visuals of that first game too, and we'll jump. Well, since we're talking about games, let's go ahead and just jump into that right now too, and seeing how that was obviously the starter and the catalyst for a lot of, well, essentially all Sonic fans, right? We're gonna put the brakes on right there as we finish up part 1 of my discussion with Chris, Sonic the Cosplayer. Tune in next week when we finish up part 2, when we talk about video games, TV shows, and movies, all within the Sonic fandom. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, do all the social media stuff for All Star Fandom Show, and be sure to tune in next week as we wrap up our Sonic fandom.